and Venezuela raid amply demonstrated the significance of the technological edge. AI is totally transforming the way we analyze, decide, act, and transforming the warfare. If data is the new ammunition, AI is the gun to fire it. Now, every country is supposed to have an ideal weapon system profile of 30, 40, 30. That is 30% state of the art, 40% current, and 30% legacy / obsolescence. However, Indian armed forces in general and Indian Army in particular, the skew is more towards the legacy weapon system. Just to name 1963 L70, 1964 130 mm and 1974 IFG guns. These legacy weapon systems pose two kinds of challenges. One is the operational effectiveness in the modern warfare, and second is the sustainment challenges. A simple Amazon Fire Stick could transform an old LED dumb TV to a smart TV. So something like this innovative technical solutions to transform our legacy system is what we are looking at. Sustainment becomes complicated because of the supply chain constraints. Infusing AI to move from breakdown and scheduled maintenance to predictive maintenance, and finally deciding where to act, when to act, enhancing the equipment readiness and combat force regeneration presents intriguing opportunities for industry and academia alike. To bring a 360-degree perspective, we have the keynote address by the Director General of EME himself, followed by 3 military speakers, an academia perspective, and 2 eminent speakers from the industry. The sequence is given in the slide. The biodata of the speakers will be flashed before they commence their talk. Just a line introduction of each speaker, their connect with the AI is what I shall do. Major General Mohit Gandhi, Commandant EME School, he is spearheading the AI initiatives in training, data analytics, and smartizing the guns for Indian Army. Major General Shivendra Kumar Bhattacharya, he is heading the policy making at EME Directorate and driving the niche technology absorptions for EME and Indian Army. Major General P.S. Bindra, VSM, MGME Southern Command, driving similar initiatives for the largest command of Indian Army. Professor Dr. Sashikumaar, Ganesan, IISc, Bangalore, he is a pioneer in scientific machine learning, heads AI in research and engineering excellence, and founder Zentic. Mr. Biswas, Chief Data Scientist, Tata Elxsi, driving innovations in AI and advanced computing. Mr. Sreeram, Ananthasayanam, partner in Delloitte, driving large-scale digital and technological absorptions across government and public sector ecosystem. Lieutenant General Rajiv Sahni, AVSM, VSM, PhD, DGME, and Colonel Commandant, has about 4 decades of experience, dual MPhil and PhD degrees, Fellow of Institution of Engineers, and unique distinction of IPMA Level A Certified Project Directors. In his previous appointment, he led the IA integration of AI, Big Data, ML, and in the present appointment, he is driving the absorption of niche technologies for EME and Indian Army. Without much ado, may I request the DGME to deliver the keynote address.
I can switch it on my own. Okay. Good to see good numbers. Good morning, everybody. So, dignitaries on the dais. Audible? So, dignitaries on the dais, scholars, innovators, industry leads, and our partners from the AI community. Happy to be here. So, curating a dedicated session, a dedicated platform for the engineering support or sustenance or the combat force regeneration as we call it is not without a reason, because any military power will not have that winnability factor only on the absolute numbers on the inventory it has. It is the engineering support which provides the flexibility, the endurance, the stamina to the commanders in the field, so that the right equipment at the right place can be used, can be employed at the point of decision, while leaving far too many options for kill and maneuver with the commanders. So that's why it was a great idea to have you on board and have a shared vision chalked out. That I've been given only 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, rightly so I'll honor that. So my keynote address will basically entail what we want from you, where we can collaborate. So the idea was smartizing the kill chain, and it has 3 quick points, 3 quick objectives where we want all hands on the deck to support. So the first part that I was sharing with when we were sitting in the tea room, that creating a common operational logistic picture, we are okay. Creating a multi-sensor, multi-source data fusion, we are able to bring along a single version of truth, which is available to my apex leadership, political leadership, and right up to the battalion commanders in the field. Where we need more kind of a intervention from you is when these precise targets are passed on the sensor shooter link. My shooters are still, they require much more of smartization, on which my subsequent speakers, Mohit, will be speaking on that. So we definitely require that we can collaborate on that part, where once the precise target has been given to my shooter can bring down the max amount of punishment on that pointed target in the minimum amount of time, what we call it the first salvo effectiveness. So that is the target number 1. The objective number 2 is basically engineering support velocity. Why we need that kind of velocity? Because we're very clear, the combat force regeneration, we have the platform, the process and the people. That is the Indian Army, the core of electronics and mechanical engineering, that part is given to us. Now, where we are working today and where we want each one to support us, that part is primarily that help us placing the sensors at the right place, the good amount of sensors which can actually help us manipulating the data elements which we have got and give us that kind of a predictive insight, so that that prescriptive part can take place. And also we are able to position our engineering resources elements at the right place in the minimum amount of quantity, because the resource constraints will always be there, and that will generate the velocity with a minimum amount of mass and has the maximum operational momentum. And the third thing, because the core of electronics and mechanical engineering, we are into the now business of designing, fabrication, manufacturing, productionizing and sustaining the dronery for the Indian Army. So we need, again, on this part, the aspect of primarily number 1, the navigation part with the minimum external dependencies which we are working on. Second thing is the control analytics, primarily to enhance and carry out the evolution as far as the quality and the production part is concerned. And third is the simulation part, most important, ladies and gentlemen, that is the threat emulation, that whatever I produce, how it actually behaves in that adversarial environment which we should be able to create, so that I constantly improve upon the quality and the delivery of my product. So without much ado, these are the 3 things for which this platform initiates. We have been in the business for a good time now. So the team EME, including me, are there. Connect with us. We have adequate provisions, adequate enabling platforms by the Government of India, given to us by our own provisions, so that where we can connect and we can work on it co-jointly and positively. Thank you. Jai Hind.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll carry forward what the DGME already talked about, that is smartization of legacy weapon systems, challenges and our way forward. So we are all aware of the modern day battlefield and what is happening all around us. The battlefield has become much more network centric. There's a whole plethora of equipment that has come in, and we are seeing a battlefield that demands rapid response, precision engagement, sustained readiness, and enhanced survivability, especially with drones becoming all pervasive. But the fact also remains that majority of our combat systems still are resting on legacy systems. Now these are, whatever we may talk of them, they are rugged, they are reliable, and most importantly, there is a lot of logistics familiarity. That means we have the ammunition, we have the spares, we have the trained manpower, we have the trained maintenance manpower. So that is a very big strength which we already have with these systems. These were designed before the times of AI, before data analytics came in and predictive diagnostics came in. So replacement of the entire fleet is not a feasibility, it's not cost effective. So what we are looking at is intelligent augmentation, what we are also calling smartization. So what I'm trying to put across is that legacy is not equal to obsolete. So the core idea of smartization is we need to transition the legacy platform into data-aware adaptive decision support systems. We need to do capability enhancement, for which we need to embed sensors on it. We want to create the data pipelines, build in the analytics and the AI, and hence transition this legacy system into our data-aware system. The key objective which we'll achieve is get better accuracy, better availability, better mission readiness, that is operations during the mission, better decision making without any effect on our manpower, improved safety and reliability, and an enhanced life cycle value. What are the key challenges that we face when we're looking at smartization? The first one is data scarcity. There are limited labeled data sets available for military equipment. And one of the challenges of that is whatever data we have is also during of exploitation during peacetime. So we have to transition this to how it will operate in war. This is something which is also called the wartime data gap. The second issue is whatever we fit onto this legacy systems will need to fight through jamming, through spoofing, through cyber threats, as well as be militarily hardened. We will need to fit in sensors and create the data pipelines. We will have to ensure that whatever we do is based on offline and secure networks. Most importantly, as we build in AI, we will need to ensure the trust and the explainability, because the human in the loop is essential, as we need to conform to the laws of armed conflict. Most of these equipment have already had very long life cycles, as was just brought out on certain dates of these guns. So the challenges of retrofitment of sensors and upgrades would be there, which will need to be overcome. And most importantly, the aim is also that when we carry out the integration, when we carry out this upgradation of the and smartization, we should not create more complexity for us as far as operation is concerned, as far as its maintenance is concerned. So what is required is a calibrated adaptation rather than a direct technology insertion. So when I look at artillery systems, what are our current limitations? Basically, our fire mission execution is mostly manual. The ballistic computation is partly manual. There is, in the legacy systems, no real-time sensor integration. We don't have the muzzle velocity radars, we do not have the inertial navigation systems, we do not have the inertial measurement units. The laying procedure and its handling is all labor-intensive, done by humans. And hence, there is a problem of chance of high human error under combat stress. So with this, we have limited mobility, shoot and scoot capability, because they are not overall mobile. So what are we looking at? We're looking at mobility enhancement. That is basically either an auxiliary power unit or a mounted gun system, sensor integration, the MVR or the INS, automation, motorized laying, computation, onboard, ballistic computers, a direct feed of met data, and ultimately with AI-enabled computation, we are looking at a smartized legacy gun system. So this is what we are looking at. The problem definition statement for this is also being shown in the stall of the Indian Army outside. So all those who are interested can also have a look there. Another use case which we have is an AI-based barrel inspection and residual useful life prediction case. Here we are looking at an autonomous barrel inspection system based on a bot, a crawler which moves through a barrel, and it has a digital boroscope, it has a profilometer to measure wear, and hence we can be able to measure the EFC's chamber wear firing profile and able to detect the degradation pattern, and using historical data and the newly captured data, using AI, be able to predict the residual useful life of the barrel much better. The aim is to improve the RUL prediction. So the way forward is phased and sustainable smartization, moving from legacy to intelligent legacy, making legacy systems reliable, available, survivable. And for this, we have what we want to do is digitization, intelligentization, building in better decision support, and also building greater institutional capability within ourselves. That means building our AI infrastructure. We have a lot of trained manpower, train more people, and ensure whatever we do is indigenous. So the future battlefield advantage will belong to those who intelligently enhance what they already possess. That is all what I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Respected Lieutenant General Rajiv Kumar Sahni, AVSM, VSM, PhD, DGME and Colonel Commandant of the Corps of EME, distinguished guests, esteemed members of the armed forces, scholars, students and fellow participants. Jai Hind. It's my proud privilege actually to speak today on the topic of the opportunities for harmonizing the artificial intelligence in niche technologies for military use. In an era defined by rapid technological change, AI has emerged as a decisive factor in shaping modern military capabilities and strategic advantage. Today's battle space extends far beyond traditional domains of land, sea and air. It now includes cyberspace, information space and the cognitive domain also. In the evolving environment, the harmonization of AI with niche technology not only offers unprecedented opportunities to enhance operational effectiveness, situational awareness and decision-making speed, but also smart sustenance of military equipment. Today, therefore, I would touch upon 5 most promising opportunities that lies for all of us and you here in the field of AI, which can seamlessly be harmonized with niche technologies. So I go on the first one, that is the drones. The advantage of using military drones is known to one and all. However, the need to use AI to enable auto detection of targets as well as make homegrown indigenized AI algorithms to flight controllers and electronic speed controllers is something that we are looking for. There is a dire need also to include EW hardening, especially in a swarm drones environment. We look forward to engagement in this field as well as commence the manufacturing of drones in the Indian Army jointly with you. The next is the robotics, which is poised to find various applications in industrial as well as for heavy duty jobs. Exoskeletons, hill assist while our soldiers go up the mountains to reduce fatigue, including certain medical applications for the war wounded. Notwithstanding that, let me tell you, the application is also extremely promising in increasing the efficiencies and outputs during overhauls and medium repairs in army-based workshops and core zonal workshops. Another seamless integration of AI that we feel is the sphere of additive manufacturing, which helps us in designing, optimizing, quality control and manufacturing of parts that are critical for military use and not available through any sources of supply. This is bound to reduce our dependence on foreign OEMs and resolve sustenance issues at large. Another niche technology that we see is quantum. So we have ample opportunity here towards secure communication, designing quantum circuits, optimizing algos and reducing error, especially in the field of drones that our workshops are already manufacturing. Lastly, in the field of niche technology of space is something that I would like to talk on. AI has the capability towards designing autonomous navigation systems, anomaly detection and image analysis. The HR for creation of the desired skill set is what we look forward to in the industry. Cyber and electronic warfare also represents additional domains where AI harmonization is essential. Therefore, AI-driven cyber security tools can actually identify unusual patterns, predict cyber intrusions, and autonomously respond to digital threats. When combined with niche technology warfare, this will definitely enhance the ability to protect our critical defense infrastructure. Gentlemen, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that under the innovation of the defense excellence, that is the IDEX, and the initiative of the Ministry of Defense, there have been various projects to include autonomous drones, counter UAV systems, ISRs, additive manufacturing, robotics, sustenance of legacy systems and equipment. We have an ecosystem which will make things happen as we look towards an active participation from industry and academia through this forum. I would only conclude by saying that harmonizing AI with these 5 niche technologies opens up a transformative opportunity for the Indian defense ecosystem and for automated systems to sustenance through smart sustenance models. I feel if we are guided by the strategic vision that we have of our DGME, and we will definitely be able to enhance our security, and our technological leadership will provide the powerful pathway for all of us to enhance our defense preparedness in the times to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, General Shivi sir and General Mohit sir. You've set the stage for us. And dear friends, I'm here to speak to you on artificial intelligence-based predictive and prescriptive maintenance for military equipment, the challenges and expectations from the academia and industry. So we are straight away going to delve in the use case to explain what we need from the academia and the industry, and the use case that we need is in the armored fighting vehicles platform. So these armored fighting vehicles we have in the Indian Army operate in the most extreme climate in super high altitude and in the deserts. And the Indian Army, I dare say, is the best army that is able to sustain these equipment at the level of op preparedness that we have. We have levels which are unprecedented at the level of exploitation that they undergo. There is no army in the world which undergoes exploitation at these extreme climates and the same type of equipment performing every time, everywhere. How is it possible is explained to you. We have an intensive kind of a schedule that is laid down the way we handle these platforms. We have scheduled maintenance, and then after a period of time, in a decade, we have planned interventions, and then it is replicated thereafter by overhauls after 2 decades, giving it life extension, and the sustenance continues. Now, while this happens, there is a kind of upgradation that happens in sync with what happens in the world around. So these platforms that were introduced even 3 decades back have undergone smartization at those levels in terms of the sights that came in terms of the fire control systems that came in terms of the protection that came in. So that is an ever evolving process that has happened. Now we are in the age of artificial intelligence and data analytics. So it is now our endeavor to again scale that ladder of smartization and take it to the next level. At present, we carry out our mission reliability, and this is the battle winning factor that we do every time our equipment is fielded in for long exercises as well as for conflicts. This is something that we analyze to see whether the equipment we have can undergo the mission that we have planned for it. If not, then we carry out interventions to make it fit for that vision. We have lifing norms, that is a crude estimation, and then we have the standard Poisson's distribution formula, which is based on critical failures. We need to move to the next level. And here is the medical science analogy that we need to follow. A doctor, when you go to a doctor, he looks at your history, but he doesn't treat you just by means of looking at that history. He sees your current condition and correlates with the history and then suggests a prognosis leading to a diagnosis. This is exactly what we need for the engines of our armored fighting vehicles. We need condition-based monitoring through those sensors, applying artificial intelligence to it, getting the residual useful life. Once you've given us the residual useful life, as to what is the predictive and prescriptive maintenance that we need to carry out. These machines are speaking to us. Are we listening? Yes, we are listening. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been where we are, but we need to now listen to them better. How do we do that? This is the envisaged architecture. We have a plethora of data that is captured in analog systems. We need to digitize them, make them smarter. We need to log it in a data logger, bundle it, get it to a platform where we are able to do condition-based monitoring, and thereafter apply the AI layer to it to get our residual useful life. We are the repository of huge amount of data that we preserve. We have it preserved with our DRDOs. We have it preserved with the field army. We have it preserved with the army base workshop. We will share those data with our partners who will be interested in taking forward this solution. Thereafter, carry out an intimate hand-holding with you to be able to reach where we want to reach. It has to be, gentlemen, a cost-effective solution and should thereafter support the pan-Indian Army deployment. So, what is the way forward? We have initiated an indigenous R&D project at Headquarters Southern Command. We will be uploading the bid shortly on GEM. We want you all who wish to participate in this bid. We are here to explain our problem definition statement. Our domain experts are here. We will be here for these few days and explain it to you so that it makes you, or it gets you enabled to be able to participate with us. Thereafter, we'll carry out the hand-holding. We will carry out a pilot project in a division on tank T90. On successful culmination, thereafter, we will plan on pan-Indian Army deployment. And once this is successful on this platform, we would like to take it across all platforms. This is what we have come down here, gentlemen. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Good morning to everyone on the dais and off the dais. So today I will be talking about the decision dominance AI. In particular, we talk about, I don't need to go into the details of like how AI is going to impact, what are the futuristics that's going to bring in. The office has already spoken about it. My primary point today is like how to transform an organization into an AI organization, and more importantly, how can we bring the AI into an organization, and when you bring such an AI into the organization, how the decision can be improved. And the question is like, when the decision is improved, then how can we win the conflicts, right? So future, you talk about any conflicts or war, anything you're talking about, it's not about like who is having more weapons. It's all about like who is having the better and efficient weapon, and more importantly, who is taking the right decisions faster. Those are the people, right? Those are the team is going to win it. Now the question is, how can we take the right decision or close to the right decision probabilistically, and more than that, how to take it quickly and faster. This is very important in order to win any conflicts. This is what I'm going to talk about it. And we have talked at the beginning, it's in the introduction, talked about, so we talk about the multi-sensor data fusion we use to get the data from different sources as well, so multi-source fusion. So these are the technologies that are available, but the challenge is, are we going to get the data in a unified platform? That's the biggest challenge. And the data that we are going to get, probably like a different layers, even in the organizations, I'm talking about the bigger industries and MNCs and these type of organizations, there may be data heavy. Even those organizations are struggling to build an AI solutions span across the entities. Building an AI solution across PAN army is going to be a massive task. The reason is, one, access to the data itself is having a hierarchical access. So the first challenge is about the data. So we might be getting the data in silos or in the fragmented way. The question is, how can we get a unified way so that I can process the data? That's going to be the major challenge. The next slide, please. And this is what I'm going to talk about it. So in terms of the data collection, let us start with the data collection. So even before going into the data collection, what is more important is, I split it into the 4 categories in order to transform any organization. First is about the decision makers, and more than decision makers, problem setters. First, we have to identify what is that A problem that I'm going to solve and how this problem is going to impact, and also we need to rank order what is that problem is most important to solve at the beginning. We cannot take the entire problems in our hand and start building the A solution. That's a recipe for failure. So the idea is the decision makers who knows about the domain area, that's where the subject matter expertise, the command, whoever is in charge of it, should be able to design, okay, these are the problems that we want to solve it. Once we have decided the problem, we have to set the business, we talk about the business metric, whereas in this case, we talk about the success metric or ROI. When I solve this problem using AI, what is that impact that's going to bring? What's the ROI for that? Is it really absolutely necessary to bring an AI solution to this problem? Not necessarily every problem requires an AI solution. So this decision has to be taken at the beginning. This is the first goal, first thing that we really need to decide. The second step is, yes, we want to solve this problem. The question is, do we have the data set? When I talk about the data set, it's not about, I'm talking about the petabyte and terabytes of data. I'm talking about the data set that can be in megabytes, gigabytes, but with the right features to solve the problem that we are considering. So that's most important. And when you talk about that, again, we talk about the vendors building the solution and so on. We build the AI models using the data set that might be available, that are synthetically generated. But the biggest challenge is the deployment. When I deploy that AI solution to the ground, then we may not get this data as we expected or as we used during the training one. So the data layer is very important, not only about the collecting the data to build an AI model. Even when you deploy it, we have to make sure that we are getting the same pipeline with the same features, same normalization, whatever the features that we are used, we are going to get the same data for the solution that we built. So that's the second one. Third one is the concept of like AI solution. So today, in terms of the technology to build an AI model or AI solution is not a challenge. You give us the data, then there is a plenty of approach, right, to build an AI solution. AI solutions are built, and once the AI solution is built, the most challenging task is the fourth point. Fourth one is about the deployment of AI solution. So when you talk about the deploying an AI solution, we will be facing a lot of problems because the AI models are built based on the data set either synthetically generated or the training data set provided by the army when these data sets are generated during the peacetime, not on the wartime. So now the question is, even after deployment, your system might be failing it. So the move forward, right, in order to transform an organization to an organization, I feel that it should be a co-development. We cannot simply throw a problem to a vendor to bring a solution, because those solution is kind of a retrofit to the organization. So the army or any organization want to transform it in an organization need to build in a co-development way, which means take a smaller problem, along with the vendors, work with them, and then build a solution, deploy. Then take a second problem and build it the second solution. So AI development is an iterative process. In this iterative process, the organization has to play a bigger role. In fact, they are the IP and the actual developers. The vendors that you're talking about are going to provide only a smaller part of the solution. So with this, I'm ending it. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you everyone again, and it's a very pleasure to talk to you on the AI. So I'll talk about the customization of AI solutions for military applications and what's the way ahead. So yeah, many of our colleagues and speakers have already spoken. There is a change in doctrine. Doctrine has been changing and quite so much now. Network was always there. Now it is the algorithm which wins the war. People who have the better algorithms, and AI is now defining and writing that algorithm.
So it has become software defined to AI defined. So software defined means your systems are all software defined. Now it is completely AI defined. Human in loop to human on the loop. Human on the loop means the humans are getting into the supervisory role where the main things are being done by the AI, the agents and the things. And swarm agents, so the quantity is the new quality. So you have seen in the different wars which is happening, the swarm agents are becoming the battlefield changing scenarios. And hyper war, we always know hybrid war. Hyper war is everything which is hybrid war, but with a very less response time. Your response time has been shortened significantly. So that's why now there is a strategic pivot to the sovereign AI. So sovereign AI means the traditional AI which you are building or the consumer grade AIs which are available in plenty, like all these Gemini or ChatGPT or all the models, will fail the first time it meets to the battlefield. So that's why you need to have your own AI models, your own data generated models and so on. So, and you have to have as much as possible on-premise edge computing systems. The algorithms which runs on the cloud may not come to your rescue in a battlefield scenarios because there is a communication failure, there are many other possibilities, there is a kill switch available that from the technology providers and so on. And that's why this is very important. And fourth point is the autonomous learning system. The one traditional challenge in AI, it has this train and inference split. Train is you offline train the system and inference is the real-time stuff. Now, in a dynamically changing scenario, you cannot have that. You need to have an autonomous learning. You can't say that, let me go back to my training model, I will come back after a few days with a new trained model. No, you don't have that option. So it has to be an autonomous learning system. All the AI you are building here has to be able to use these models to learn autonomously and change decisions. So, and why customizations of the AI is necessary, we talked about. It has to be context aware, it has to take real-time inputs, it has to become a mission constrained AI policies. Many of these, cybersecurity policies has to be followed. There has to be set of certification policies which are involved, and then adjustable autonomy levels. Now the inference, if you see, the AI is all about inference. That inference has to be very different for different types of workloads. A fighter jet pilot, the kind of inference he will be getting, but MBT operator who is getting the inference has to be very different. You have to consider the cognitive load he has. Some cases the cognitive load will be so high, the majority of the decision has to be offloaded to the AI rather than human. Human has to give that crucial decision. So the adjustable autonomy is extremely important. Your normal inference which is kind of a one size fits all is not going to work. So that's very important. A decentralized logic of decision. So extremely important in a battlefield scenarios. And we have seen in other wars, I mean, there are very short battalions which are going and fighting. So that every decision data has to be contained within that. These are some example of some of the heavy customizations which is AI is making a difference. Edge autonomy. So all these drones, robots has to have their own autonomous decision process, data acquisitions and performance. Sensor fusion is extremely important. All these machines has to have a very robust sensor fusion. You will be operating in an access denied, heavily contested environment. So the sensor has to be able to do all that. The electronic warfare, extremely important point in a war. The communication is the key we talked about, but communication will be the first casualty when it is in a war because you will have a completely broken signal. So you need to have a cognitive UI. Your electronic warfare has to continuously adapt and generate, and there are examples of that. And these are some, technology focus in Tata Elxsi we have been working. Sovereign AI compute platform, we are extremely focused on creating a sovereign AI platforms. We have been working on some of the, as part of the Tata group, we are involved in many, AMCA projects, and we have a, unmanned aerial vehicle or UAV center of excellence in Tata Elxsi, and we work on some of these areas. Radar modernizations, an extremely important component in any communication system is the radar, and that is where we will be able to working. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sreeram, and it's indeed an honor to be standing and talking about the applications of AI in the armed forces, and we heard a lot of speakers talk in the past about specific applications. As a consultant, I'll take the liberty to zoom out a bit and talk about the role of AI and how things are changing and what we need to be cognizant of in the field of war or field of national security. Right? We stand at a moment of truth. Right? AI is not just transforming warfare. We are seeing that AI is the new battle space. That's what we are seeing in the multiple theaters of war that has happened. Off-the-shelf AI is strategic suicide. All of us know it, right? So is AI without human in the loop. Our adversaries have the same AI applications. They have the access to the same AI applications that we have access to. Foreign algorithms carry the dependencies. Our military data flows across the borders we do not control. And when all of these things happen, we surrender our strategic autonomy. So it's extremely important that the AI solutions that we build for India is built out of India, built by Indians. And that is not technological nationalism. That is plain survival, right? Let's start with some data, right? US NORAD is using AI for missile trajectory prediction. There are multiple use cases that you see where people have used AI successfully. But there are many gray zones, right? And where do we draw the line? That's a key question. So there are multiple dilemmas. There are tactical and strategic dilemmas that one really needs to consider. First one is algorithm versus intuition. Algorithm says something else, but a battle-hardened general on the ground or a JCO on the ground says something else. Where do you draw the line? The second dilemma is sacrifice for sustenance, right? Now, an AI engine might say that some parts of a Rafale have to be diverted into from a quiet sector to a hot sector. But perhaps the system did not have all the information of what is happening in the real battlefield. Where does one draw the line? That integrational operational picture that was talked about by the speakers earlier, that's what defines what somebody has to do. Data sovereignty versus coalition, right? One of our partners says that they will plug in AI into the hardware or OEM that we buy from them. Now, that would mean, for it to work, it would mean access to some of India's sensitive AI, geospatial data. Do we surrender data sovereignty for us to get better access to an adversary or from an OEM, or what do we do? A lot of policy questions, a lot of governance questions have really got to be answered while we are really looking at the application of AI. But some of the earlier speakers talked about using a barometer in a barrel and then figuring out AI. Those are the kind of solutions which are short, tactical, built in India, built by India, made for India. But what do we do? No, I'm suggesting few actions, right? One, can we look at creating a defense AI mission across the forces, right? Second, can we look at a sovereign defense AI platform? You know, we have, as I was talking to the speakers before off stage, we have the macros, we have the technology, we have the information that is available. What do we really do given our reliance on some of the foreign nations for some of the equipments? What do we really need to do to create a sovereign AI platform? Perhaps the point number 3, I'm not aware, but do we really need a joint military AI command, right, as under the Integrated Defense Services umbrella? And most importantly, within the armed forces, do we create an AI warriors program? People who are as adept on the ground, as adept on using the equipment, are equally adept in leveraging AI and the technology. So where do we draw the line? And lastly, where do we really focus on a public and private partnership for Defense 2.0? We have an extremely strong innovation ecosystem that's available in India. What do we do? How do we build offensive AI capabilities? A lot of these things that we're now talking about is about, I heard a lot of conversation on defensive AI capability, but what do we really do in terms of offensive AI capabilities? And most importantly, how do we govern and do an oversight on all of these things? End of the day, it's machine versus human. It has to become machine and human coexisting at the theaters where even a split-second decision can mean a victory or a loss or between life and death. So the question before us is quite existential. Will India be an AI rule maker for defense, or will we be a rule taker? All the conversations that I've had so far off stage point to the direction that we are being the rule maker here. There is a lot more directional winds favoring us in that particular direction. However, my submission, without compromising on national security, we hear a lot about our adversaries and all the developed nations talking about the use of technology for defense and how technology has helped win wars, etc. Perhaps my humble request and suggestion is to enthuse the youngsters, the startup ecosystem and everybody. We should also start talking about some of the good things that we are leveraging technology for in some of the battlefields that we are doing. But we have certain advantages that nobody possesses, right? We are the largest software pool. We have the operational experience, as was told, in the most adversarial climatic conditions. But most importantly, compared to some of our adversaries, we have democratic values that can build ethical AI frameworks, which perhaps our adversaries cannot even fathom. So, in summary, I would like to say that, we have seen a lot of our armed forces performing these ultimate sacrifices in multiple terrains. Their sacrifice teaches us that technology without warrior spirit is hollow. But warrior spirit without technology in the modern battlefield is a tragedy. So our Jawans, our sailors, our airmen, our citizens, all of us deserve the AI that protects them. And our duty is clear. We must act decisively, urgently and strategically. And in conclusion, I would like to say that the future is not predetermined, especially in the world of AI. It's ours to code, to train and deploy so that we can win in the battlefield and off the battlefield. Thank you for your time. Jai Hind.
Thanks all speakers. I must say the TED talk of 10 minutes was beaten by delivering such insights within 6 minutes. We have time for 2 quick questions. Yeah, I saw a raised hand. Sir, up.
Would you allow me to speak? I have a question on that.
Yes.
Hello. Yes. The person who submitted this research idea, have they taken the ethically, legally and accountability? Who will be the accountable for the different layers? Because this is the security point.
Sir, may I have your name please and the organization?
Myself, Christian Bhatt, I belong to Tata Consultancy Services.
Okay.
But today I am joining this session as an audience, sir. Right, sir? So my request, this is a security point for the concern for the entire India. Have you taken before submission ethics and the sentiments legally and accountability? Who will be accountable? You are giving this a private and government partnership, but the chaining and accountability has been given there. This is the main thing. Who will be accountable for that?
Fine, sir.
We have seen many scenarios, as we have heard from the newspapers, etc. There is a lack of the security.
Sir, question cannot be a sentence.
सर, मैं जब आप कोई सोल्यूशन दे रहे हैं, कोई आइडिया, उस सोल्यूशन में कहीं ना कहीं आपने लीगल और अकाउंटेबिलिटी किया नहीं किया.
Rajat.
That is my
Question is taken, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Will be answered.
May I request the DGM?
So, क्या शुभ नाम आपका? Okay, Girish. Well pointed out. So, but there are explicit data governance policies which the Indian Army or the Indian Armed Forces follow, and those responsibilities are well taken care of when the service providers and the Indian Army talks for reaching out to a common shared vision, and after that shared solutions. Fine. So those things have adequately been incorporated. Be rest assured.
Why I'm telling them no DP Act is still implemented, no AI policy in the government of India right now. only the one AI comprehensive AI Act has been implemented in Europe. This is EU AI Act 2024.
Okay, so good.
So that's
So,
the government of India working something on
so
that.
there has been adequately been built in. Fine. So whenever we give a service level agreements or whenever we give the supply orders, those things are adequately built in. Be rest assured. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll have the second question. Yes, sir.
My question regarding the implementation of AI in the Western Indian Army organization. So, what are your views on this? Whether you want to do it modular on the modular basis or the centralized basis? And one more question, sir. I just wanted to ask. If you are serving in the field, so there are some other units, ARC and the BROs and other departments where you can basically coordinate and you can have a big picture of the area, how it can be, what kind of a decision can be taken. And sir, I would like to ask one more question on that. I have three questions basically. Yeah, one second. So, sir, Major General Mohit Gandhi sir said about decision support system. So, what kind of difference will be there? How reliable we are taking it? How much we are considering? What kind of percentage we are?
Okay, good. So we will, since the time being the constraint, so some more questions. We can take it one or two more questions.
Sir,
then we can give the answer correct.
Sir, the
We
next
take one or two more questions. Then we'll do that. Okay.
next session is team is sir already
there
trying to come.
Okay, so
we'll take this.
one more question and we'll give the answer. Okay, the gentleman in the black jacket.
Good morning, sir. I am Colonel Virendra.
Hi, Viru.
My question is, in case of any projects that AI is a new field, everybody is aware, and there are challenges, there can be, failures. So in our procurement, are we prepared to take a failure? Or at the end of the contract, do you want every time you want a successful implementation?
Okay, very, very nice. So I'll answer both these things. I'll start with the last one first. So the aspects of failures, we are very, very clear that all the R&D projects or the IDEX projects we do, while the endeavor is to reach at the right optimum solutions, but wherever we feel that we have done our bit and there are issues which needs to be carried forward in the follow-on research, those failures are part of our success story in the end. Coming to your question, while the common operational picture is very, very clear to each one of us in the multiple agencies, the use cases are very, very specific. So those modular use cases, they finally bring up and they converge to create a common operating picture. And the efficacy of decision support system, gentlemen, as far as the battlefield surveillance systems are concerned, they are promising the very high accuracy rates of anything up to 90.4%, fine, and the AI modeling. And as the DSS is concerned, it is still in the maturity path. We'll let you know as things mature further. Thank you so much. I think for the scarcity of time, we shall have to close it now.
Right, sir.
Thank you very much for being here.
Sir, now we would have liked to take more questions because of the constraints we cannot, but you can submit these questions to the SPOC that would be shared with you. It is indeed a proud privilege for me to welcome eminent speakers and august audience to crystal gaze into infusion of AI for enhancing the efficiency and efficacy of operations and operational logistics for Indian Army. Recent conflicts and Venezuela raid amply demonstrated the significance of the technological edge. AI is totally transforming the way we analyze, decide, act, and transforming the warfare. If data is the new ammunition, AI is the gun to fire it. Now, every country is supposed to have an ideal weapon system profile of 30, 40, 30. That is 30% state of the art, 40% current, and 30% legacy / obsolescence. However, Indian Army, Armed Forces in general, and Indian Army in particular, the skew is more towards the legacy weapon system. Just to name 1963 L-70, 1964 130 mm, and 1974 IFG guns. These legacy weapon systems pose two kinds of challenges. One is the operational effectiveness in the modern warfare, and second is the sustainment challenges. A simple Amazon Fire Stick could transform an old LED dumb TV to a smart TV. So something like this innovative technical solutions to transform our legacy system is what we are looking at. Sustainment becomes complicated because of the supply chain constraints. Infusing AI to move from breakdown and scheduled maintenance to predictive maintenance, and finally deciding where to act, when to act, enhancing the equipment readiness and combat force regeneration presents intriguing opportunities for industry and academia alike. To bring a 360-degree perspective, we have the keynote address by the Director General of EME himself, followed by 3 military speakers, an academia perspective, and 2 eminent speakers from the industry. The sequence is given in the slide. The biodata of the speakers will be flashed before they commence their talk. Just a line introduction of each speaker, their connect with the AI is what I shall do. Major General Mohit Gandhi, Commandant EME School, he is spearheading the AI initiatives in training, data analytics, and smartizing the guns for Indian Army. Major General Shivendra Kumar Bhattacharya, he is heading the policy making at EME Directorate and driving the niche technology absorptions for EME and Indian Army. Major General P.S. Bindra, VSM, MGME Southern Command, driving similar initiatives for the largest command of Indian Army. Professor Dr. Sashikumaar, Ganesan, IISc, Bangalore, he is a pioneer in scientific machine learning, heads AI in research and engineering excellence, and founder Zentic. Mr. Biswas, Chief Data Scientist, Tata Elxsi, driving innovations in AI and advanced computing. Mr. Sreeram, Ananthasayanam, partner in Delloitte, driving large-scale digital and technological absorptions across government and public sector ecosystem. Lieutenant General Rajiv Sahni, AVSM, VSM, PhD, DGME, and Colonel Commandant, has about 4 decades of experience, dual MPhil and PhD degrees, Fellow of Institution of Engineers, and unique distinction of IPMA Level A Certified Project Directors. In his previous appointment, he led the IA integration of AI, Big Data, ML, and in the present appointment, he is driving the absorption of niche technologies for EME and Indian Army. Without much ado, may I request the DGME to deliver the keynote address.
I can switch it on me on? Okay. Good to see good numbers. Good morning, everybody. So, dignitaries on the dais. Audible? So, dignitaries on the dais, scholars, innovators, industry leads, and our partners from the AI community. Happy to be here. So, curating a dedicated session, a dedicated platform for the engineering support or sustenance or the combat force regeneration, as we call it, is not without a reason, because any military power will not have that winnability factor only on the absolute numbers on the inventory it has.